Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
At the end of Exodus 13, the Israelites were joyfully leaving Egypt. The Egyptians sent them off with gifts of silver and gold jewelry and clothing. They were free. But best of all, God, their God, the all-powerful God of the universe who had chosen them and showed himself completely victorious over the impotent Egyptian gods, was leading them by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Things couldn't have been going better. But God did not lead them toward Canaan. He led them to the edge of the Red Sea. If you look on a map, it doesn't seem all that far from Egypt to Israel. Just follow the shoreline of the Mediterranean and you're there, right? But that led into Philistine territory. And God said He did not lead them that way because they were a nation of slaves, not organized and prepared for war yet. But here's the good part. In Exodus 13:18 it says, "But God led the people around by the way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea." You know, Moses was wondering what God was thinking, but there was no questioning that God was leading them because the cloud and fire never left them. Now, God doesn't always do this, but He disclosed His motives for the way He was leading them. He wanted Pharaoh to think that they were wandering around aimlessly, so he would pursue them. He told Moses, "I will get glory over Pharaoh and all his hosts. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord." He said this frequently, and the Egyptians did finally get it. When they were about to be covered by the Red Sea, they cried out, "Let us flee from before the Israelites, for the Lord fights for them and against the Egyptians." Now we know what God was about to do. Rescue the whole nation of Israel and destroy Pharaoh and his army all in one act. This was going to be big. This was something that Israel would look back to umpteen generations later. But first, God had to back them in a corner, lead them to a dead end, and prove to them that they were helpless before He swooped in and once again proved that He and He alone was powerful and could do exceedingly abundantly above all they could ever ask or think. The Israelites were in such a spot that they were incredibly afraid. Wouldn't you be? They cried out to the Lord for help. Then, not completely trusting that He would help, they set to complaining. After 2 very long verses of complaining, Moses told them, "Fear not, stand firm, and see the salvation of the Lord, which He will work for you today. For the Egyptians that you see today will never be seen again. The Lord will fight for you, and you only have to be silent." That's 2 of my favorite verses. It's from Exodus 14:13 and 14. He was saying, stop complaining. Stop being afraid. Just watch what God's going to do. Sometimes God leads us to a dead-end road like this. The Red Sea in front of us and Pharaoh hard at our tails. Helpless and afraid, sometimes we start to complain. But that's because we don't realize that God's in control. With our limited vision, we see no way out. We may even get mad at God like the Israelites did. We might say, "God, you led me here. I've been obedient, but here I am with no way out." But if we know who God is and what He's capable of, we can be bold instead of fearful, excited instead of helpless, praising instead of complaining. We can think, wow, what is God going to do next? And then we can thank Him for giving us a front row seat to whatever it is. Are you willing to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord? Are you willing to allow Him to use the impossible situation in your life to glorify Him and prove to others who He is? It might be painful. You might not even survive it. But as Paul said, "For me to live is Christ, to die is gain." Our purpose is to give God glory. What better way than to let Him have complete control over your impossible?
As always, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share a treasure, support this ministry, or get Carla to speak at an event, please contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.